Welcome back to Cooking with Mark and Oreo. Oreo's here to help me make, we're gonna learn how to make a crustless quiche. And you wonder why I'm doing crustless, is to make it low carb. Because I know many of you out there like me, stuck in quarantine, we gotta limit those carbs. We don't wanna put those extra pounds on. So you're gonna need 8 eggs, which we'll get to later, some fresh scallions, 3/4 a cup of goat cheese, crumbles. Then you're gonna need a teaspoon of garlic salt. Oh, garlic powder, sorry, not salt. Because then you're gonna have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of basil, a teaspoon of black pepper. My secret ingredient is we're gonna add a little bit of honey. And then you want some cherry tomatoes, which we're gonna chop up and add to our quiche. Then you want a 9-inch pie plate, which we're gonna grease in a second. And then obviously you need some knives to cut your stuff up. I have my oven already preheated for 375 for the quiche. And then I also have a pan on the stove with some olive oil warming up because you wanna cook your protein before you put it in the quiche. Today, my protein I'm using is chicken sausages made with spinach, garlic, and Asiago cheese. You can use whatever protein you want, bacon, ham, any other type of sausage. I just chose this because I thought the flavor of the spinach and the cheese would be amazing in the quiche. So let's start with chopping those. And as I continue making videos here for Cooking with Mark and Oreo, I've had people give me tips on how to cut so I don't cut my hands. So I'm gonna keep my hands on top. I'm gonna keep my hand on top like this to guide it. And as you can see the little pieces of spinach inside the sausage, which is gonna give this a nice flavor. They're already fully cooked, so we're gonna just pan sear them a little bit, just to release some of this amazing flavor. So let's go put them in our preheated pan that we have with a little bit of olive oil. You don't want to add too much oil. And there's always one that gets away, but guess who gets that, Oreo? Here you go, buddy. Alright, I'm just going to give that a little stir. And you really don't have to keep an eye on this. So we're going to get the rest of the quiche ready. We're going to chop up some scallions. You could use all the green and white part. I typically only use the green, but I'll do a little bit of the white. So again, I'm keeping my finger on top. Usually you want to keep this hand to guide it, but I'm actually going to use it just to help me move my scallions along the way. But notice I'm keeping it far and away from the knife because I don't want any accidents, especially on camera, because it'll be documented. And I wouldn't want my husband to have to drive me to the hospital in the middle of making a crustless quiche for my audience. And I'm just gonna add it to this bowl for now. Next, we're gonna crack 8 eggs. I'm not a professional egg cracker. I always make a mess with my eggs. Normally when I make eggs for breakfast, I just do egg whites if I'm just doing a scramble. But since this is a quiche, we're gonna use all of the egg. So you can crack 8 eggs right into the scallions. You don't want your shells in there though, because you don't want your quiche crunchy. So crack 8 eggs into the bowl. Alright, so now there's your 8 eggs with the scallions. One ingredient I did forget to mention at the beginning because it stays in the fridge and I always forget about my cold ingredients, but you do want to have a half a cup of heavy cream, which I'm going to take out of the fridge right now. Because you don't want this sitting out on the counter when you're getting ready. Give it a few shakes. So my mistake for forgetting that, I always forget the cold ingredients. So you can add that right to the eggs too. Then again, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of garlic, a teaspoon of basil, We're also gonna do 3/4 cup of goat cheese. There's never enough cheese for me. I love cheese. Oh, and I forgot my pepper. There we go. And that's a teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm also gonna do just a couple of swirls of honey, because there's so much savory flavors in this. I just wanted to add a little sweetness as well. I'm gonna clean up some of my mess. Like I said, I always make a mess. Look what I'm gonna do with my eggshells. I'm just getting rid of those till later. All right, so I'm also gonna add some tomatoes. These have already been washed, the cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna just cut them. Let me check my meat first. These smell amazing, by the way, guys. You can smell the Asiago, the spinach. It smells amazing. So we'll let those cook a little bit longer. So the tomatoes, you can add as many as you want. I'm gonna take I know cherry tomatoes are already small, but again, finger on top of your blade. And then I'm gonna cut the tomatoes in 4s. I'm just gonna add a few to that. I'm gonna do probably about 6. That seems like a good amount. Maybe 7. I like an odd number. All right, so our meat's done, because again, like I told you, it was already fully cooked. So I just wanted to give them a little cook. But you also don't want all that extra oil in your quiche. So I'm gonna drain it. So you wanna drain the extra oil out. And I just lost another one. And that's kind of a lot of meat, but it's gonna be a beautiful quiche. And then you wanna whisk all that ingredients together. So you have your goat cheese, you have your Asiago and spinach sausages, your scallions, tomatoes. You want to just whisk it like you're making scrambled eggs until it's mixed it well. So our quiche is almost getting ready to go in the oven, but we have to grease our pan. You can grease it like with Pam's cooking spray that I usually spray with my muffins, but I'm actually just gonna do a little bit of butter. Butter's the answer for everything. So I just have a half a stick of butter that I had left over in my fridge, and then I'm just gonna grease the pan very well, because you want the quiche to come out without falling apart. And up until recently, I didn't even have a pie plate, but now that I'm getting more into cooking and I wanted to share some amazing recipes with you guys, I ordered these Pyrex pans from Amazon. It came 2 in a package, which is great. And again, if you check out Coco Macanora's videos, I have a blueberry breakfast dessert that I made. We're using a pie plate. So there's some great things you can do. Then I'm just gonna grab a rubber spatula. You can grab a wooden spoon, any kind of spoon to pour, and you just wanna be careful that it doesn't splash back at you. Don't want to leave that last tomato. He'll be lonely if he goes in the trash. All right. Then you just want to mix it around. Look how beautiful that looks. You can see all the flavors. Oh, let me show you some of this. Goat cheese, tomato, the sausage, chicken sausage, all those scallions. And this will go in the oven at 375 for about 40 minutes. So we'll be putting this right in the oven shortly. All right, your quiche is ready to go in the oven at 375, like I said, for 40 minutes. Voila, I'll see you in 40 minutes. It's great to make this ahead of time because you can actually heat it up. So that way breakfast is ready and you're good to go. And you don't have to wait for it. Say bye, Gloria, we'll see you in 40 minutes. Hi everybody, welcome back. Quiche is done to come out of the oven. I'm gonna grab another pot holder just so I have it too. And look how beautiful that looks. That's a work of art right there. Which we're gonna leave it to cool. And then I wanna cut in a slice. so you can see me try it. So I'll see you back in a little while when it cools off. Oreo might get a bite too, he loves eggs. You want a bite, Oreo? We have to wait till it cools off. Alright, so our quiche is cooled, it's time to cut into it. I'm sure I'm gonna make a mess, because like I said, I make a mess of everything. So I'm gonna do like a cut down the middle. See, it's already crooked. I'm just gonna do a little small sliver for me to taste. I can see that me buttering the pan really helps. I'm gonna try to do this without a spatula. Look how beautiful that looks. You can see the chicken sausage, the tomatoes. Now I gotta take a bite. I want a little bit of that goodness in every bite. The flavor is amazing. Right, Oreo? Thank you for joining Cooking with Mark and Oreo. Make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell so you never miss an amazing video that we have. And if you make this quiche, definitely post the picture and tag us on social media, Facebook or Twitter, or even comment on the YouTube channel. We'd love to see your finished product and let us know how it tastes. Thank you, Oreo. Say bye to our guests, and we'll see you next week for another wonderful, fun episode.